Hello everybody, I'm so happy to be back. Today I would really like to talk about my favourite movies, and I've picked my top 10 favourite movies, but they're not in any kind of order or anything like that. So my number one movie is called Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And I would love to know from any of my listeners if any of you have seen this movie, because to me, it's sensational. It's so subtle and nuanced and just all about exploring, the sort of romance between two women. And it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I first watched this a few years ago, and I was really just stunned by the artistry. It's actually set, it came out in 2019, and it's written and directed by Celine Sciamma, and it stars Noemi Meriant and Adele Haenel. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's set in France in the late 18th century. So it tells the story of this very brief snapshot in time, and this love affair between two women. One is an aristocrat and one is a painter, and it's set in France, so you have to have subtitles on if you can't speak French, which I can't. It actually it was selected to compete for a I don't know what that means, but Palme d'Or, I don't know what that means. I'll have to look it up afterwards, but I did know that it went to Cannes Film Festival, and it won a queer palm at Cannes, becoming the first movie directed by a woman to win the award. And she also won the award for Best Screenplay at Cannes as well. But I love it because I love to paint myself. I actually really need to get back into it. It's so hard though. If you haven't done any painting for a little while, getting everything out and just having the confidence to just get everything out and then start, and then you kind of got a lot of mess around you all the time, all your stuff's out, and there's there's like pots full of paintbrushes and water and everything. It's pretty interesting actually. I'm just scrolling down on Wikipedia as I'm talking about this, because it actually this movie won, it was voted the 30th greatest film of all time in the Sight and Sound 2002 critics poll, and it has also been considered one of the best films of 2019, the 21st century, and of all time. And I can totally see why that would be the case. I mean, the acting is incredible. It's just so moving. Both the actors, both the women, the main two, are just, they're so masterful. They live in the role, and it's so authentic, and you just see how curious they are of each other. And if you've ever been in love or just been interested in somebody and not been able to quite put your finger on what it is about them, but you just kind of know something about them, you match with them, I feel like they did that so well. They knew, you can only really act that kind of love and curiosity for another person if you have lived it yourself. So bravo. Yeah, I think that was absolutely incredible. Which brings me to another movie by Celine Sciamma as well, called Petite Maman, and I've only recently watched this a couple of times, once the other day, and once a few months ago, and I didn't know that she'd done as many films as she has, Celine. And obviously I'm a massive fan of Portrait of a Woman on Fire, but then I saw Petite Maman, and here's a magical, again, the cast is predominantly women. There is a man in it who plays one of the girls' father, who plays a lovely role, but it follows these two young girls as they meet, and I can't give away what happens in it, because it is truly captivating, and if I tell you, it will really ruin it. So don't read any articles about it, just go and see it. It's another French film, and it follows these two little girls, only 1 hour 13 minutes, and they meet in the forest, just after one of the little girls' grandmother has passed away. So she's a little bit out of sorts, she's mourning, she didn't get to say goodbye how she wanted to, and she meets this other little girl, and they build like a little hideout, little hidey, like a hut out of logs, and they sort of drag these big logs along, and then they decorate them with like some autumn leaves, so it's really, really beautiful. My chair keeps cricking, by the way, it keeps making this, I don't know what's wrong with my chair. Probably need to put some WD-40 on it. But yeah, so definitely both movies that I've watched by Celine Sciamma, Portrait of a Woman on Fire and Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Sorry, I keep saying a woman, but it's Portrait of a Lady. She's a lady, she's an aristocrat. She comes from big money. And Petite Maman. And oh yeah, both just sensational movies. Okay, let's go to Midnight in Paris by Woody Allen. Midnight in Paris, it comes from present day, and magically the young man steps into, he's a playwright, he's a writer, he goes back in time accidentally, just in a cab, and he goes to 1920, and he meets Ernest Hemingway. He meets F. Scott Fitzgerald and Zelda, and yeah, it's so good. I mean, if you like any books from that time, or you just kind of liked that Prohibition era, or the fashion or the style, it's definitely for you. It's got a magical edge to it. Yeah, I love that magical feel as well. It's so good. And that's directed by Woody Allen, who he's directed quite a few comedies. I think I've seen loads of them, but actually the only one that stands out to me, or the best one that stands out to me, is this one, Midnight in Paris, so I'd definitely give that a watch. Okay, another movie. This is going back a few years when I first watched this. I first watched this movie when I was probably, I would say 1920, and it's called Heart Huckabees, directed by David O. Russell. It's got Lily Tomlin in it as well, and just one of those movies that question the fabric of everything. It questions your, how do I put it? It's really, really philosophical, and you can't watch it and go away into your normal life without it having left, you know, a very sticky residue on you. Like, it's so good. It's really deep, you know, set in America, and this young man's trying to save like a wildlife park, like I think he's trying to save a big rock. I had it in my head he was trying to save a tree, but I think he like chains himself to a rock or something, like in a nature reserve. And he's very fascinated by coincidences, so he hires a private detective to uncode the mysteries of his own life. And they're a team, they're a couple, and they work together, and they follow him, and they snoop through his rubbish, and they follow him to work, and they get really stuck into his life, and they unpick everything, and it's just so good about the human condition and what we're all doing here. It's just one of those movies that will shape you as a person if you watch it when you're young. I was definitely susceptible to shaping when I watched that, for sure. A really nice friend, actually, Luke, showed me that movie, and he lent it to me, and I've still got it. I've still got your copy, Luke, so just so you know. Okay, another cracking movie, The Grand Budapest Hotel by Wes Anderson. That's got Ralph Fiennes, who's a legend, and he gets framed for a murder by the family of a wealthy dowager played by Tilda Swinton. He takes a priceless painting, Boy with Apple. Such a cool name for a painting, Boy with Apple. And the movie follows Gustav, Zero and Agatha. And Zero, works, he's like a busboy, and he, gains the confidence and the trust of Gustav. And Agatha is his love interest. She's she's a baker. She makes pastry, and she bakes and things, and she makes cakes, and they're falling in love throughout, and it's all against the backdrop of an encroaching fascist regime, which is not ideal. So there's a lot of juxtaposition going on in the film, and it's very funny, it's very comical, and if you haven't seen it, you should. Another movie, one that I haven't watched for a while, but has been a favourite of mine since I was about 16, is Jackie Brown, by Quentin Tarantino, and that's actually based on a book called Rum Punch by Elmore Leonard, and I particularly love the movie for the soundtrack. I really love those soul songs and songs from that time, from the 70s. It's just so good. It's just really good. I'm yawning. It's bedtime for me nearly. It's about 9:30. Oh no, it's like 10 o'clock now. Oh my goodness, it's 10 o'clock. I hope everybody's tucked I know I should be tucked up in bed soon because it's Sunday night. That's what everyone should do on Sunday night. You should go to bed early and get good sleep so you can rise and shine on Monday morning. Okay, so yeah, Jackie Brown, obviously, if you haven't seen it, how to describe it? Don't really want to tell you the whole of the plot, just in case you want to watch it and I give anything away. It's so good. But yeah, there's some money involved, and Jackie Brown's an air hostess, and yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Just watch it, it's so good. An absolute cult classic that I have to mention is Withnail and I. Withnail and I, directed by Bruce Robinson. It really is a cult classic because he's just kind of made that one film that everybody knows and remembers. You know, it's a very, very low budget movie and he just got it, you know. Yeah, it's got Richard E. Grant. Everybody loves Richard E. Grant. And Paul McGann and Richard Griffiths, who's sadly no longer with us. But yeah, two failing actors living in London and they can't get any work. They're really not doing very well at all. Richard E. Grant character he plays, which is Withnail. That's his surname, Withnail, as Paul McGann calls him, and he's I. He really can't find any work. He drinks too much wine, and he's just like a bit manic and very dramatic. Yeah, he has sort of like an immature approach to life and an entitled immature approach to life, and Paul McGann is a bit more straight and narrow. Like he knows that, you know, he needs to keep straight, he needs to keep in good condition, he shouldn't be drinking all the time, he knows that if he gets an audition he needs to be in the right frame of mind to go for it. And Richard's kind of like, well, Withnail is kind of bringing him down, and they have this friendship, and it's quite pitiful because Withnail is like really relying on Paul McGann to like it, you know, in like a way, like a moral, if a morale, he like relies on him, and he needs somebody to sort of witness his life, and you know, he doesn't have the work ethic yet, you know, that would see him through. And Paul stays as long as he can, I think, and he puts up with it, but he's a bit of a genteel soul, and he obviously, you know, wishes Richard, well, Withnail the best, but ultimately, you know, he decides he needs to part ways, and I think it's a bit of a learning curve for Withnail. You know, he needs to, well, I hope that he understands anyway. Yeah, it's one of those things. Classic movie, Bridesmaids, with Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Melissa McCarthy and Rose Byrne. Just absolutely hilarious. It's kind of a rom-com about friendship. You know, it's called Bridesmaids, so you expect it to all be about the the bride and the groom, but the groom's barely in it. It's all about, you know, the relationships between these women and how ridiculous they are, and just how hard it is to, you know, get through life sometimes without the aid of some medication or some strong drinks. And it's just so funny. It's like laugh out loud funny, and you know, you can rewatch it over and over and over and over again, and it never stops being funny. It's really, really good. So yeah, I can vouch for that. If you thought it was a chick flick, I wouldn't call it a chick flick. It's not. I think it's funny for anyone. Okay, so I've done Bridesmaids, Withnail and I, Jackie Brown, Grand Budapest Hotel, Heart Huckabees, Midnight in Paris, Petite Maman, Portrait of a Woman on Fire. Okay, so the last two movies that I want to tell you about are LGBTQ movies. The first is Carol, which is set in 1950s New York, and one of the leading ladies is Kate Blanchett, and the other is Rooney Mara. Now, I absolutely adore this movie because I love 1950s. I love New York, so the aesthetic is just gorgeous. It's divine, and it's a forbidden romance, so it's one of those ones where you feel all the longing that the characters are feeling, because they can't really be together. But I won't give it away, because, you know, they might be together, they might not be together. You'll have to watch it. But obviously, the elegance and poise that Kate Blanchett brings to every movie that she does, this is no exception. I mean, from one of the first scenes where she leaves her gloves on the counter for Rooney to find, and then she has to deliver them back to her house. Everything about it's just, my chair's creaking. Everything about it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I definitely recommend that one. And the last one is another LGBTQ friendly movie called Call Me By Your Name, which is actually a book which was first written by Andre Aceman, but now it's a movie directed by Luca Guadagnino, and it's a very it's another movie filled with longing. I would say it's more modern, but as masterful as Brokeback Mountain, which really, you know, if it was my top 11, I'd probably stick that on there as well. And you can probably sense that lots of my movies I've picked are very LGBTQ friendly, and I think that's because growing up you're always fed this Hollywood sort of ideal of romance and love, and it just seems so unrealistic. So when we have these movies that are very raw and real and about slightly what's seen as taboo still, you know, love affairs, they're so raw and they're so stirring. They really stir up the emotion within, and I absolutely adore that, and I really connect to that. Yeah, I just feel that it's really important to tell these stories, and I feel that how real and raw they are means that we can really connect to them, because they're not Hollywood. They're not, done up, glamorized. It's just really honest. And I like that. So I think we have things to learn from just accepting love in all its forms, and I guess I'm just a big hippie. That's fine. But thanks so much for listening to my late night ramble. I've had to make this video in so many parts because things kept going wrong and my storage kept running out. But yeah, it's really nice to share, and yeah, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and that it'll help you get to sleep. I'd love any suggestions for my next videos. I do actually have a couple of videos that I'm planning. One really fun one. Well, I don't want to give away too much, but it's not set in these lands. It's slightly mystical. Understatement. But I need to feel really ready to do that video, because I think it's going to be quite a task. I'm going to have to green screen. I've got a green screen, so that's okay. But yeah, it's really fun to create and make these videos, and I hope that wherever you are, it's reaching you in good spirits. And I really hope that you watch some of my recommendations. I'll be so upset if you don't. Let me know if you've already seen some of the movies that I've talked about, and let me know if you have any favourite directors. I will say I'm also a fan of some quite strange, not strange, that sounds really bad, but like I quite like some arty movies. I'm not like the biggest film buff, but funny story, me and my guitarist connected over on like our first meetup where we did a gig. We both connected over a movie by Andrei Tarkovsky called Stalker. So it'd be interesting to know if there's any film buffs out there who've seen that and what you thought of it. I was deeply perplexed and curious about that film, and I thought it was very philosophical. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the pace of that movie. If you like ASMR, you probably would enjoy the pace of that movie. People who don't like ASMR, and people who are quite fast-paced kind of people, probably would say it's boring or it was an endurance test. But it wasn't like that for me. So yeah, if you have any thoughts and you'd like to share them with me, then please feel free. And yeah, it's been really fun. I hope that you've enjoyed hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a good week. Tomorrow is Monday, so back to the grind, so to speak. But hopefully it's a fun grind. Yeah, so thanks so much again. Good night, and yeah, sleep tight. Hope to make another